it's actually a little awkward trying to come up with a conversation starter when talking about crabs, so we're just going to leave it there. Hello everybody and welcome back to Bug Realms. On this channel we like to discuss all things creepy crawly, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. So guys, today we are going to be rehousing our rainbow crab, but before I get on to that, I do want to drop a quick message to you guys. So the next video coming up, which will be on Wednesday, is going to be an important one. So I'd really like it if you guys could take the time to watch that. It's the announcement for the project I've been working on for months, linked with a super collaboration. Possibly. So if you wouldn't mind guys, hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe and then you will definitely get your notification of when that video goes live. There is something you guys as viewers can do for me. I'm not going to go into any more details of that, but the sooner that video gets seen, the sooner we can get the ball rolling. So please check out Wednesday's video. It's going to be a good one. It's a bit cheesy, but it's meant to be. Anyway, back to where we were. So currently our crab is in this enclosure. And he's going to be moving into this enclosure. Now, they are exactly the same size, but the environment he's in, he utterly destroys. I will show you in just a second. So I have kind of pre-built before this video a new style to the enclosure, which I'm hoping will be easier to maintain. So let's have a little look at the destruction he has caused. So here's the current one. It's also got a crack in the side, so I did want to replace it anyway. Oops, I'm knocking everything everywhere. He's actually just sat down in the corner down here. Now this was originally where he had his water dish. You can see he's just filled it full of substrate, tore the plant around. He had a little shelving part here which went across here to make it a platform to get into the water bit. I then added an additional tub. Now this was buried right down originally and filled with water. He sits in there a lot of the time, but he also has a tendency to tip it over. So everything is moved. I know these guys, I mean any invertebrate will make the enclosure how they want it, but I need it to be a little bit more sustainable. So what I've done is this. Now this actually does look like a bit of a mess at the moment, but what I've done is there is a slate panel here. Now that slate panel is raised and siliconed in. There is a gap here, although it might be hard to see, with a thin layer of substrate on the bottom. Now this is held up by actually a brick. I've got a little lip to the edging here so we can put some substrate on this. Now we've got a sort of bark slope leading down, and the idea is that he's got his land part here because they are land crabs, and he also has a full water section underneath because he spends a lot of the time in the water as well, and this way nothing can be tipped over. Yes, he can put all the substrate in there if he wanted to, but ideally he's got constant water there without tubs being refilled up all the time. So let's get the substrate on here and fill the water. So here's a side view. You can see now that that panel is raised and we've got the slope down there. So I'm actually going to be using the substrate that he plonked in his pot already and put that in there. I think there's a rock in here as well. Let's check that one out. So there we have that, and now we're just going to be filling up the water level to the edge of the slate here. I'm going to pour it along the ramp so it doesn't kind of like separate all the substrate. I know a lot of this substrate, the lighter stuff, is going to be kind of raised in the water, but it will have time to settle as well. There we are. So now the water is filled to the level of the slate. He can walk around this side, round the lip, and use the ramp to climb down if he chooses. So I'm just going to kind of stick my hand in there and get that substrate a bit more flat again. Then we'll give it a moment to settle and I'll be back with you. Okay guys, it does just look like a swampy mess right now, but it actually looks a lot better in person. So a lot of this has settled now, although there's still like a thin layer along the top of the water, but that'll be fine. I have additionally added a little hide here as well, just made from some cork bark. So it's got a kind of opening to the side there, so as a reflection, so I can see when the crab's coming in and out. I did decide to chuck that rock in just to give a bit of extra support to the slate, because the only thing holding it up aside from the silicone is a bit down here in the centre. So I thought if I put something near the front, it's more likely to stay in position. So all we've got to do now, guys, is add our crab and see how well he adapts. So there's the crab there, guys. Don't know how well you remember it from before. He can actually get out the top there, so I'm going to have to keep an eye. But let's try and get a bit of a close-up on him. There he is. I'm calling it a him, I don't actually know. So it's actually very calm for the moment. It's normally very, very skittish crab, this one. It's actually got a little bit of his old food left in there. Let's chuck that down, see if he's interested. Probably not, he had a good meal yesterday. But these guys are scavengers anyway, they'll pretty much take to anything. I've had it eating mealworms, I've had it eating bits of hot dog, bits of ham, bits of, well, all sorts really. He's even taken to some of my stick insects that have actually passed away. No, I didn't give him anything that would have had any kind of parasite or anything like that. They were ones that have died of old age that have already been a second or third generation of my keeping. So they didn't die of anything unnatural, and yeah, he's been doing absolutely fine. The eyes of crabs have always fascinated me as well. They're just so creepy. Now, I don't want to disturb it too much, but I will just pop my hand in there so you can see how skittish crabs can be, because a lot of people just kind of think that they're just a simplistic, slow walking pet. But if I show you this here, let's slight tap. Okay, it's not being too bad actually, but it can be a lot quicker. Oh, down into the muddy depths it goes. Obviously it's brought up a lot of the lighter bits of substrate to the surface. I will skim all that out eventually, but it's probably just going to keep making more. So there it is, under the water's surface. Now it's actually on the side of the ramp, you won't be able to see it properly, but obviously here's the crab's legs, and this part here is the edge of the ramp. Now it can go underneath it, or it can come back on top and go around the other side. So we'll have a future update on this to see what things look like when all the substrate has settled properly and all the water is a bit more clear and easy to see, and I'll let you know if it uses its hide or anything like that. So there we go, nice and simple transfer today, and another look and update of the rainbow crab. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I know it wasn't something as funky as rehousing a tarantula and things like that, but I'd still use this channel to show off my full invert collection and not just sticking to the teas and just the stick insects. Obviously I have a few other things too, and I'd like to be able to keep you guys updated on those. So guys, please, please, please remember, for Wednesday's video, it will mean an awful lot to me if you could get involved in that and give it a watch ASAP. So, again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.